show where we take a little bit of time to talk about what happened at the amazing service tonight. This is our first after show, and we're so excited to film it with Pastor Alex. He was our guest speaker for tonight, and it was so powerful. And basically what this after show is supposed to accomplish is we have our free podcast available to you on iTunes of this service that you'll be able to listen to, but we want to get as much information, as much power from the service out as possible. So we hope that through the podcast or watching this that you just get encouraged. That's our goal, for you to be encouraged and just inspired to go after God. So we're going to jump into our questions. What did you think about tonight? Just really quick, what did you think about the service tonight?
It just from the beginning of worship and everything, it was just me. I said it on stage. It was really intense, but in a good way. Intense. And I think a lot of times church misses the intensity of the gospel and of proclaiming the gospel. And I think you guys did just a phenomenal job of being intense. I mean, you even got a youth leader out there in crutches. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what you do to your youth leaders, but that's pretty intense right there.
Oh yeah. And tonight you talked about the story of Lazarus, and you broke down what Jesus was feeling in that story, and you talked about a word called indignation. So if you can just expound on that and just talk about that word.
The word indignation is interesting because it means anger and annoyance. So it's almost specific to annoyance, and I think Christians sometimes make the mistakes of turning feelings into enemies. While sometimes that can be true, most of the times feelings are not enemies, but rather something that needs to be tamed. Does that make sense? It's something that you can harness and use for good. You see Jesus angry a lot, actually, in the New Testament. Probably his most famous angry moment is when he flips over the tables in the temple. And that's just such a beautiful moment because you see his passion and he's angry about the right things. And the Bible really teaches this, and you know, Christians sometimes can make the mistake of trying to rid themselves of stuff that God's not trying to rid them of. He's trying to get them to use it for the right thing. Likewise, in the Bible, it tells you, take your thoughts and make them obedient to Christ. Take your thoughts captive. He doesn't say get rid of your thoughts because they're bad. In the same way, God would not tell you get rid of your emotions because they're bad. No, God would tell them your emotions are good. It's just that when they're not controlled, they go overboard and take you the wrong way. They're not reined in. They're not tempered. So let us temper them. Let us focus them and push them in the right direction.
There was another part of your message that really hit home to me, and I know it hit home to a lot of our kids and our leaders. You talked about something that most of us struggle with, which is when things don't happen our way, like when we show up to a service and we're seeing all of the changes that are happening in so many other people, we start to have this where's mine? Like you start to question, just like in the story you were telling with Mary and Martha. So if you can encourage us, like how do you get past that thought process?
Jesus asked them, do you believe me? And then Hebrews encourages us, hold fast. And a lot of times, first of all, the word hold fast, I kind of defined it, but to get more specific on it, it literally means to take firm possession of, or to keep direction. And it almost infers a continual thing. And I think a lot of times what happens is we think as Christians, faith is something I do one time. Believing is something I do when I need to. But it's not. And when Jesus teaches even on something like prayer, you think about prayer and he says, pray continually. And what he's talking about is have a habitual life of prayer. Never let it escape your life. And in the same way, believing is not something you do once, it's something you do and keep on doing. And so believe and keep on believing. Live a life of belief. Hold fast. Why would you let go? Why would you let go? And the interesting thing is, most people they'll go through hell. They will go through the pain. They will go through the emotional damage. And listen, you've already gone through it. You might as well keep holding on and get to the other side. Why would you let go now and get nothing for all that holding on? And so you believe and you keep on believing. You hold fast and you keep on holding fast. And this is something that Jesus reminds the man at the pool of Bethesda. He reminds Mary, Martha, believe. Do you believe this? Do you believe this? Do you believe? And he often asks this question. And so it's just interesting to me. Yeah.
That's basically what tonight's service was in a nutshell. It was just a kick to the guts to, encourage you to hold fast, to just keep pushing. Like that's what I got personally from tonight's message, is wherever I am and whatever circumstance I'm in, is that I have such a powerful God in my corner. And the amazing thing, like you prayed for the kids tonight, and I just kind of took different things that you said in your prayer, and you prayed at the end for us to be mended, from in whatever circumstance we're in, whatever we're going through, and you prayed for us to hold on to the fact that God is your stand-up, and He's the one that restores you.
Yeah.
And I really, it was such a powerful service. If you missed it, check it out on our podcast, our 220 podcast. You don't want to miss it. We hope that through this after show, you are encouraged, and you just are inspired. That's what our goal is through this after show with Pastor Alex. But really quick, I know that it was so encouraging and everything was so epic. All the answers here were epic, but we just had a quick question, and I didn't tell him to practice the answer. I just wanted to know. And it's an important question.
Okay.
If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
The power to answer this question in a way that makes everybody laugh. How about that? I'm just kidding.
I was like, really?
Like,
Seriously?
that's not a power.
That's the only power?
When I was a kid, people used to ask me that. I always say, I want the power to have all the powers that I want. Which
Oh
is
my gosh,
also
you're such a typical
cheating,
boy.
But I'll pick one, and it's fly. Dude, I don't know how cool it would be to just fly. Sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, I just picture myself as a giant brown goose just gliding through the skies. And the only way that I can think of to live that beautiful experience is to have the power to fly.
Oh my
you know what I'm saying? I'm a goose, you gotta let me fly.
Well, with that, and our cameraman's trying not to laugh, just to let you guys know what's happening behind you. You guys have an amazing week, and we'll see you again next time at the G220 After Show.